Heroes walk among us. They are ordinary people who sacrifice time away from family and friends to answer a higher call of service. These brave men and women run courageously into the field, placing their lives on the line to ensure the safety of others, to do noble works both at home and abroad. And for their services, we at Pro Wrestling Union say thank you and salute you. Pro Wrestling Union returns on September the 10th at the Union County Recreation Center for the second annual Ray Bit Barber Memorial Parade of Champions. It's Military and First Responders Appreciation Night, where all service members get half off ticket admission. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Saturday, September the 10th at the Union County Recreation Center, the second annual Ray Bit Barber Memorial Showcase, the Parade of Champions.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for Thursday Night Indie Spotlight, and my guest tonight, y'all know him. You've seen him on here a bunch of times. I don't have a count club. I'm not going to do that either. That's somebody else's thing. I don't want to get hit with gimmick infringement. I get hit with enough infringements already. As I'll address that more on Sunday. But at any rate, allow me to bring in our guest for this evening, Mr. Cole McAbee. How you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. How are you?
I am here, still plugging away, grabbing more content for this show, and making sure we got everything lined up that we need. Because man, there's a lot to cover on this Joker.
Yes, there is, because I'm not just here as the owner of Pro Wrestling Union. I'm also here as the commissioner of Classic Pro Wrestling, which is going to be having its show on September the 24th over at AWL's arena, the Welford Pavilion. So there's a lot going on just in that 1 month of September.
You have another show that month as well.
Well, yeah, I do. It's actually part of a festival in Union, South Carolina that's called Uniquely Union. It's just a hometown festival, and we were asked to put on just a few shows. So it's not like one of these full-fledged events that you see from us. It's more of like a little pop-up event. So we're just going to have a few matches that's just going to be part of that festival, and that's going to be on Saturday, September the 17th. I always keep saying the 18th, but like I said, the month of September is going to be so chaotic. I'm going to be all over the place. and come late the beginning of October, I'm just going to be like, leave me alone. Just let me rest for a moment, because there's going to be a show at the end of that month. But we're not here to talk about that right now.
That's right, man. Let's go ahead and get it started off hot, man. You announced a while back, and the ad just played. I've always thought the ad was great anyway. I liked it the original way, but we're not going to discuss that either. But man, we got the Parade of Champions coming up, man. And, these guys look like money.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
They really do.
And the thing is that at the time that this particular graphic was put together, this is when Luke Daniels was still the Carolinas champion, Chase Emery still as the Pro Wrestling Union heavyweight champion, which we've explained what his issues are medically. But of course, as of right now, we still have the Heart Killers as the Pro Wrestling Union tag team champions. But still, though, these are still individuals that we will see at this event.
Oh, yeah.
One way, shape, or form.
That's right, man. I mean, and then the overall poster gives you everything you need. It's got the location, it's got the date, it's got matches on there, general admission, all service
$10.
members get half off their admission. Dude, that's great. That's good stuff, man.
Military Appreciation Night and first responders. Being a former first responder myself, especially working with 911, a lot of people tend to forget them as being part of that team as the first responders. But let me tell you, man, first call I ever had as soon as I got through with training was a person that was in a cardiac arrest. And the individual's wife was panicked because her husband was not breathing. She's thinking he's dead. There's nothing that she can do. But the training that I had was able to provide information to get her to provide quality CPR, which helped the EMS and the fire response team to arrive to take over. And the man ended up surviving a cardiac event that 98% of patients that suffer do not make. So
Man.
he was within that 2%, all because she was quick to call somebody that had knowledge of what to do in that situation.
Right. And I mean, coming from a military family and my brother's heavily involved in the fire department, been there since since he was underage, I guess is the way to put it, because I couldn't tell you when he started. But
Right.
it's always been something I've been around. And so I know I know they're not gonna be there. I appreciate it for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I still think it's a cool thing. And then you mentioned, Chase Emery's gonna be there. Um and as I said, he's going to address the fans about his medical leave. So that's a important step.
Oh yeah, and Chase and I, we've talked a lot, and I've also been talking to Derek Bannifer a lot, and we've sort of kind of put things aside as far as our feelings in regards to this, because this is a very serious issue. He ended up getting a vaccination so that way that he could do work for WWE. In fact, the
Right.
show that I'm going to be going to tomorrow night over in Greenville at the Bond Secure Wellness Arena for SmackDown, he was actually supposed to participate in that event
Man.
originally. Uh, but he had a reaction to the vaccination. It happens. And of course, it caused some issues with his heart valves, and he's having to take it easy for the next little bit. But we've been working things out with him. He's in good spirits. Derek's been very appreciative about the way that we've been handling everything. And he's also been addressing this with all the other promotions that he's been working with, and everybody's been showing him a lot of support. And all we wanted for Chase is to recover, get better, and hopefully we'll be seeing him back in the ring soon.
Most definitely, man. Nothing but the best for Chase. I've had nothing but respect for him since the day I met him. Very solid young man.
Right.
Very humble. For the look and the talent in the ring. He's extremely humble. Um, and he's always been a constant professional. He shows up early. He stays in late, or he stays there late to help out. I mean, the guy's class act.
Yeah.
So
Well, he's also he's very well a student of I guess the old school method of doing things. Like a lot of people these days, and I'm not trying to knock guys that are working nowadays, but some people take for granted a lot of the things that like the promoters and the people that put these shows together do, where they think they just show up, they do their thing, they can leave early, hop to other shows, and if you work that out with your promoters, that's completely fine. That's what communication and all that's for. But Chase, been he kind of reminds me of the way that I came up. You showed up early, you help out any way that you can. You wrestled, you stuck around, you help with things. And that's kind of how I came up when I was in the ring. So
yeah, I mean, you've seen me.
yeah, you stick
Granted,
around. You stick
yeah,
around to the bitter end.
yeah, I like to, man, because I'm one of those people likes to make sure everybody at least gets out safely, because
Right.
normally I have one of the longer commutes, especially some of these other shows we go to. But it's like, man, it's cool until you talk to guys like Valo and them who are coming all the way from like Charleston or wherever, Columbia,
Right.
across whatever the beach.
Well,
That's a
shoot.
hike.
Shoot, I'm not gonna lie to you, and I think you know the story, but there's been one time when we had to get stuff together, and the only people I had there to assist me, besides Luke Adams, was Chris Vallo and his partner Tommy Django.
Yep.
And guess
I think
what?
I
They
showed up
helped.
shortly thereafter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I think
showed up
I
shortly after, and but still though, that was my help, and this was during torrential downpour rain, trying to get a wrestling ring inside of a building.
that was at the firehouse, wasn't it?
No, that wasn't the firehouse. That was actually the first show that I did over at the Union County Recreation Center. That was the night that we did the Carolinas Championship crowning, Gold Rush.
I was not there. Nope.
Okay,
I was not
okay.
there for that one. No. But we got some comments we're going to catch up on, then we'll move further into the card. Casey Leanne said there is no rest for the wicked. She's got that right because that woman there works her ass off on shows too.
And she can be very wicked if
Yes.
you upset her. I've seen it.
I've seen it. I've seen it. David Estacito, man, this dude is legit, dude. If you've never seen him, they're on they do a little live show called Critical Hit, right?
Okay.
And they do a lot of promoting for promoters. It's their business model. That's what they do. They're like an advertising thing. But David does live commentary. And when I tell you that he was the one who made me think this is the coolest thing I've ever seen, I'm telling you, it took me back to the Attitude Era, like listening to JR at home or JR and King at home.
Oh, okay.
It took me back that far. That's what listening to him is like. He's a solid dude. I met him down in Atlanta. Good guy.
Okay.
He said, yeah, that's a stacked card. Very stacked card. Casey Leanne, former first responder here as well. And then David also, EMS, EMTB.
Yep. There you go, right there. Some of the hardest working people on this planet working as first responders.
Casey Leanne grew up as a military brat. I didn't travel, but I mean, technically.
So, see, that's why she is the way she is. Then, in all honesty, if you grow up military, you got to be tough, and to work as a first responder, you got to have thick skin too. And then on top of that, she's been involved in wrestling, which you got to have thick skin in wrestling. So,
oh my god, yeah, you can't be in your feelers in this business.
We're not going to get in. We're not going to get into that.
Let's see. Pay your dues. Be an asset.
Mm-hmm.
That's what David had to say. He said, "Yes, I've been there, man." Jimmy says, "Ron, I have grass growing in the parking lot. I told you to rock the son of a bitch. Why are you going to bother me with this? I told you to put rock down. Why are you bringing this to my? Hey, look, you know the rates. We can deal with it." Let's see here. Casey Leanne says, "You damn right." Oh man, let's go ahead and catch up on some more of these. Do I have a banner created for this yet? No, I don't. I didn't make one of these yet. I'm surprised. Corey Fortenberry chimed in saying, "How's everyone? What's up, dude?"
Hey,
oh, we're doing good, man. I'm enjoying a nice beverage.
I don't have a beverage with me tonight.
And
you
talking.
You couldn't even pronounce the name of my preferred
nope
Scotch of choice.
Nope.
That's okay.
Didn't try to. I think Michael King did though. I think Michael King did.
That's because he knew what it was. As much as he wants to hate me, he can't. And
right. I don't drink Scotch. I drink Crown Royal.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Crown Royal, you know. That's the third best thing that came out of Canada.
Edge and Bret Hart.
I was going to say Michael J. Fox and maple syrup, but okay. But yes, but Bret Hart and Edge and Christian are great too.
I didn't say Christian, you did.
I have a preference for Christian.
Really?
I do, man. I think he's highly underrated.
Man, all right. I'll put you, I guess. As far as talent goes, yeah, I'll give him that. He is underrated. But, man, we didn't get enough from the decade of decadence with Edge, so I'm glad we got Edge back.
Well, I mean, I think everybody's glad we got Edge back. We needed something like that anyway.
Yo, so. Edge still working. Tommaso Ciampa's still working. You know, guys like that who've had to go through the neck things.
Man, I love that shit. Spotlight. We're sitting here talking about WWE and AEW.
I know, killing me.
I know, right?
We're Edge
heads. Sunday.
Oh God. Let's see here. Next up, we have Randy Wayne and Don Furio.
That's right.
Quite an interesting match. And the last time I saw Randy Wayne, he was nothing but pissed off because he had just got beat by the Drew Hood hype train.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. And we'll talk a little bit more about Drew on that, but in this situation, Don actually made his debut when we had the Jacob Casey show that was over there in July at the Union County Fairgrounds. He wrestled John Matthews, who also made his debut, and they had a really good match. And I was very impressed with Don. He picked up the victory. But then later on that night, he wanted to cash in on Derek Vanderford's bounty on Antonio Morgan, and that didn't quite go his way. I kind of think maybe if Don was a little bit more fresh, he could have had a better chance, but he had just wrestled a match against somebody. And then he wants to come out here and face a fresh beast like Antonio. And then next thing you know, one spear later, 1, 2, 3, and he goes about his way.
Man.
But Don's tough. And we know how tough Randy Wayne is. So I think this is going to be a very physical matchup.
Oh, I agree. I feel like it has a lot of potential. Don Furio impresses me with his presence in the ring. He carries himself very well. I understand he's been around a bit, but he doesn't show you the mileage. You know what I mean?
Right.
Some of these guys show the mileage after they've been running the roads. That kid looks like.
Well, he takes care of himself too, and that's very important in this business because otherwise you're going to end up looking like me in like 5 years, and I look horrible. So,
man, you're too hard on yourself, guy. You're too hard on yourself.
Too easy on myself. You hush your mouth.
But let's see. We got more comments about this. The Don Furio. That's right, man.
Yeah.
Don Furio is awesome, and the Drew train. There we go. I like that. The Drew train.
Yep.
Tiffany Childers chimed in. Hey, Cole and Ron. Hey, Tiff. How you doing?
Hey, Tiffany. How are you?
I saw her Friday. Was it last Friday night? I think. Yeah, she was at the show. I was working last Friday night. She hung out at the table with my kids. So that was cool. Yep.
That was that his pro wrestling?
It was.
Okay.
Once again, good night of wrestling, but sometimes, man, the ring just bites back. The ring bumps back, and it is what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. Cole and Saint Double Trouble, said Scott Larson. He just finished up an episode of #Truth. This man retires more than Ric Flair, but I love him to death, and he knows it.
He's on his way to be like Terry Funk. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to do this forever.
There we go. I hope so. I hope he does it forever because the people enjoy it.
I really like Scott.
If you could have seen him on tonight's episode, man, he was happy as a pig in shit. It was like it was his world.
Well, the last time I saw him, because I didn't catch tonight's episode, unfortunately, but the last time I saw him, he was not exactly happier than a pig in shit. He was pretty upset about some stuff, but we're not going to get into that. We don't. No, we're not. We don't want somebody making phone calls and feel like we're talking about them.
Oh yeah, I don't want to get hit with more. What are they? Somebody owns copyrighted material on my post. It's to the point of harassment now. It's awesome.
Copyrighted material, and I hope you don't mind me saying this.
Nope.
Copyrighted material, but yet it was something that I had purchased, gave you permission to use, and the person that created the track for your show is my own cousin who's a musician. He currently lives up in North Carolina, but he used to be out in LA and all that other stuff, but has since moved over back to the East Coast. And he told me, he's like, hey man, if you ever need any music or anything, and he's created a couple of things for me. And it was it was a track we weren't using. And when I offered to do something for you for the Wrestling Wire, that sound and the way the graphics, I was like, man, this matches well together. And I said, well, let's see how he likes it. The next thing you know, I thought I was using it as a commercial for you, but you use it as your damn entrance. So I was like,
I thought that's what it was for. Yeah, I love it. I was using it.
I was using it as an ad, man. But in all honesty, the fact that you liked it and you wanted to keep using it, I was like, you know what, man? Go ahead, man. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, it sounds great. It fits. It fits the show. My wife was like, I think it's a little too hard. I think it's a little too heavy. And I'm like, yeah, but have you seen my show in comparison to the others?
Right.
She goes, never mind, you're right. I'm like, there you go. Because it's way too messed up. I say some really bad shit on that show, but it's okay. I have fun. But yeah, Let's see here. We've got you wrestle like a girl. I don't know who that is.
Who wrestles
I,
like a girl?
I don't know who wrestles like a girl because I don't wrestle. Oh, she's talking about Casey Lee. She's talking about Corey Fortenberry.
Oh, okay. And Corey doesn't
Jesus.
wrestle like a girl. I've seen a few of his matches. I've asked for him, and he's
Yep.
been and he sent me a few of his matches and all that other stuff. You might be seeing Corey at a show pretty soon. You never know.
Man, you never know who you're going to see at any show you go to. You know that?
Right.
It's crazy. That's the great thing about professional wrestling in general. You never know what's going to happen. You think you know, and you can predict some things, but you're never going to predict everything.
Right.
Casey Leanne says, "No, I haven't, but you know where I was going with this classic movie. Oh, you're killing me, Smalls, and you wrestle like a girl is lines from The Sandlot.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Corey's too young to understand that joke, so I'm sorry.
Oh man.
Such a classic, but October 9th, I'll see Pro Wrestling Union. Oh, so he's going to be at the event. That doesn't mean he's working. That means he's going to be a paying customer.
Are you sure?
I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Let's see here. Brino Royce said, "Gentlemen, the Rolls Royce of professional wrestling. How are you doing, sir?"
I gave Brino the Larry Sabisco nod. So
There you go. I'm sure he appreciates it. Scott
better.
Larson said, "We talked about me coming on and being a contributor. I will love that." Exactly. I'm going to bring Scott on. I'm going to bring Travis on, a buddy of ours, Travis. I'm going to be bringing on some different people to talk professional wrestling at different times, just random points when I'm going to bring people on. And, man, I can't wait for shit like that. Because
Right. Okay.
having straight up, like having what we're doing now, this is awesome. I like this. I like interviewing wrestlers. I like interviewing promoters. I like promoting shows. That's all fun.
Yeah, because I don't really get to talk to anybody about wrestling. Now, like my kids, I could talk to them, but it's like they don't really fully understand. And if I try to explain things to my wife, she just looks at me like this. She just goes. So anyway, at work today, and just changes the subject.
I get the same thing. But I want to have these counterpoint conversations or just conversations with people about wrestling in general. It doesn't matter whether it's the bigs or the indies or what have you, just conversations about wrestling, because I think that occasionally people are going to get tired of hearing just my dumbass talk for 90 minutes to 2 hours to 3.5, 4.
Well, so far we're 23 minutes in, so
yeah, I know we got to. Yep, it happens. And David Estacito said, "Interested, we'll work on that." Tiffany Childers says, "I'm so ready for September 10th. Me too. Let's talk more about it."
Yes.
So this is another match that's going to be an absolute banger. Cam Jackson and Buggy Wright.
Yes. And see, here is the thing, okay? The last time we saw Buggy Wright, he actually went into the ring with Chris Phoenix, a guy that he has had a feud with all over the place in North Carolina, and they brought it over to our place not too long ago. So I've always been wanting to implement a junior heavyweight division. Buggy and Chris got to be that experiment with it, and the crowd really enjoyed it. And where Cam kind of fits into this, because I know everybody looks at Cam and doesn't think junior heavyweight, but in all honesty, a junior heavyweight is somebody that weighs under 220 pounds, and he actually went from a 240-pound wrestler last year. He put on a little bit of weight. He didn't like the way he looked, and then he got in the gym. He got busy. He cut his weight down, and he knocked off 30 pounds like that. And I mean, if you look at him today, like as he looks right now, he looks phenomenal. He's in possibly the best shape he's been in since I've seen him in the business. He moves faster. He hits harder. And I just think with his dynamic and the way that Buggy does things in the ring and his style of being that junior heavyweight, you're going to get a very awesome matchup between these two.
I agree with that, and I also feel like this is Cam's run in the business. Like, he was awesome in CPW as the CPW heavyweight champion.
Yes, he is the CPW heavyweight champion.
Yes, he is. We'll touch on that as well. There's a lot going on there. But I mean, he was in phenomenal shape back then, athletic as hell and gifted as all get out. But right now, I sat out. I don't know if you saw the picture with me and Michael King, but Cam is sitting over here next to Timothy Godfrey, and we're sitting there, all of us having a conversation, smoking cigars at the end of that show. And when I tell you that the passion that dude has for this industry is up there, man. I love sitting there talking wrestling with Cam. And the same went with when we had dinner after the
I was going to say we had dinner, and it was you and I, Cam, Kale Mari was there. He came in just to come hang out. Randy Wayne, he was also there. And what was really funny, because Randy Wayne was actually sitting to the left of me. His wife and my wife are sitting across the table from each other, from us, and they're talking and you know, I've known Cam for a little while and all this other stuff, and just to listen to him talk, and I guess Randy had never actually just kind of listened to his thought process on things, and he's over there like nudging me. He's like, "This kid gets it," you know, and all this other stuff, you know, and I'm like, "Yeah, he does." But you know, it doesn't always mean Cam's always the easiest person to work with, though. But we'll get on that a little bit later.
Oh yeah.
He wants a match with Dion Johnson since he lost that match with him back in July, and of course I told him, I was like, nah, that time's passed. But I mean, Buggy's excited for this match. Buggy's looking forward to it.
And Buggy, man, has been impressive as hell. Him versus Chris Phoenix was on fire.
Right.
That match was badass.
And not only that, but I mean, he's been doing more stuff over there in North Carolina. He's more known up there for like ACCW and everything like that. And I mean, he's just killer to watch in the ring. He's fantastic.
Oh yeah. All right. So I have been saying it wrong, and I'm being corrected. Estacado.
Estacado.
Estacado. Estacado. Estacado. There it is. Estacado. Got it. And he also said money's on Cam Jackson. Let's talk about the upcoming CPW show. When we get through the Pro Wrestling Union show, we will. James Johnson chimed in. The tie-dye sunrise himself. I love this guy. Cam Jackson is the most slept-on wrestler of 2022. He
may be onto something there. Yep. James is a smart guy. I know because I've spent time talking to James, and I love some James Johnson.
I had a 3.5 hour interview with him live on here, shooting the shit. Oh, it was great. Fantastic. That picture was taken at 52 Reasons. Yes, that was backstage after 52 Reasons. We sat down and had cigars, and it was a great time. Underrated. Yes, he is. Kid has a mind for this, as James Johnson. Yes, another James Johnson has a great mind for this.
Yep.
Let's see. What match is Buggy ready for? Buggy's going against.
Yeah, Buggy's got a match this September against Cam Johnson. Not Cam Johnson. Cam Jackson. I'm thinking Dion Johnson at the same time. Dude, I've been up since like 4 a.m, so.
Same. I hit the shower just a little bit after that. So.
And I didn't have coffee either, and that's the bad part. I'm upset about that.
That is a crime against humanity, sir. Tiffany Childers said, "Is Chase going to be there in September?" Yes, we opened this statement with yes. Chase will be there. Look, I'll look. The proof is in the pictures. Chase will be there to address his fans about the medical leave.
Right.
Okay. So we got that covered.
Yep. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. We got a lot to cover.
Definitely. Cam Jackson versus Buggy Wright's going to steal the show. Watch and see. Okay. It very well could. Let's see. So that was Cam and Buggy. Next up, man, I'm excited for this.
Here's the big announcement because Michael King has been blowing up my message and trying to figure out who his guys, Reno Royce and the former Pro Wrestling Union Carolinas champion Luca Daniels, are going to be facing. Well, guess what? I've got those two against the world-traveled former four-time NWA World Tag Team Champion and also former Pro Wrestling Union Tag Team Champion. You got Sigmund, Elliott Russell, the Heat Seekers. This right here is going to be baptism by fire, and I hope that the Sovereign are ready for this.
I agree. Now, Bill Hazelwood corrected me and said it was the 5-time NWA Tag Team Champion. That's what Bill Hazelwood told me, so I don't know.
I just go by what Siggy tells me, man.
Okay. Gotcha. Cool. Good. Fair enough. Guess what? Somebody's right, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Also appearing. Oh,
I was going to say Siggy. Siggy has taken some blows to the head, so he might have forgotten one. I don't know.
It could have been one of them Flair titles where they lost it at the same time and then won it back at the end of the night or something. Yeah, could have been one of those. That's an NWA thing.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Appearing top dog of the industry, Bebop.
That's
Man,
right.
This dude's got a license to print money written on his forehead.
And let's think about the last few matches that he's had at Pro Wrestling Union, man. He's had the matches with he's had 2 matches with Luka Daniels. One where he was successful over Luka with the Carolinas title on the line. Now, of course, the last one, Luka did end up with the championship. However, the one thing is that it wasn't a pinfall, it wasn't a submission. The referee had to stop the match because Bebop kept fighting so hard that he couldn't even respond anymore. So basically, it was almost like just a forced forfeit at this point. But Bebop is one of my favorite wrestlers out there right now, and he's just had a child, so he's kind of taking it easy right now. Him and his wife, they got the new baby and everything like that. But he wanted to be at the show, and I said, "Hey, man, just come along." And he said, "I'll be there." So,
gotcha. And I say license to print money on his forehead, and it's underneath of that fantastic hat he has on. That hat is excellent. Dig that.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's super stylish. He kind of makes a lot of people jealous, but
Yeah, he does. And then we've got another tag team match coming up, and it is going to be the Heart Killers defending against All Worm, No Soul. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing. If there's a tag team out there that I thought was going to get signed that wasn't named the Heat Seekers, it would have been All Worm, No Soul.
Right, and there's still time for something like that. You never know what the future
definitely
can hold.
Is.
Or even for the Heart Killers. I'm not going to take anything away from them either.
No, definitely not.
But yeah, but another thing is that this is also Joey Ford and Brady Collins. They were the first Pro Wrestling Union Tag Team Champions. And they never got a rematch. So this is almost like nearly 2 years since they've been able to come back for something like this. So I thought it was a great opportunity for them to come back and try to see if they could recapture the gold that they lost about 2 years ago.
It's apropos for them. Very much so. That's a fantastic utilization of that word.
I know we've already said one match is going to steal the show, but so far every match that I've seen so far has the potential to be match of the night.
Oh,
and that's
definitely.
That's the kind of wrestling show you want to have, ladies and gentlemen.
That's the kind of wrestling show that Pro Wrestling Union likes to put on.
Right.
So, and I'm sitting here looking at this card, and I'm just like, I get to be a part of this. I'm ecstatic to be a part of this.
Yeah.
Another
I love it.
Yep, another match I am really excited for. Interestingly enough, besides the main event, we got one more match to cover. So let's go ahead and cover that one. We have the Carolinas Championship on the line, but we don't know who the opponent is for the Carolinas champion, Dion Johnson. Now,
hold
Okay.
on. Oh. So Dion decided to address Pro Wrestling Union management through a video that he sent to us.
I have it.
And he so you actually have the video
that video is ready.
You know what? I'm not going to say anything. How about you just play it then? I'm not going to ruin it for people.
September the 10th, the second annual Ray Bit Barber Memorial Parade of Champions. I don't need to tell the world what Bit meant to me because everybody knows that he was a brother from another mother to me. I've been in this business 31 years and he was there from the beginning. And he's still with me today. Even when I doubt myself, Bit was always there to encourage me. So right now, this old broke down, beat up body, I've doubted myself. But now, Bit's spoken to me and told me, you need to challenge yourself. So at the second annual Bit Barber Memorial Parade of Champions, Dion Johnson is going to get up out of the chair, work out a little bit, and he's going to challenge himself. So PWU, you can find anybody that can get in there, in that square circle with me and test me, push me to the limit because I need it. So September the 10th, PWU, you find somebody for Dion Johnson to do his thing with and tear the house down. Because I need to know if I still got it, if I still got something left in the tank. So if you can get that done, we're going to rock the house right there in Union, South Carolina. September the 10th at the second annual Ray Bit Barber Memorial Parade of Champions.
And indeed, with that, we kind of looked into some people. We not going to name names or anything like that, or any. But during the process, as you know, Ron, Dion had an opportunity to wrestle Luka Daniels for the Carolinas Championship at the American Wrestling League show, 52 Reasons, over there at Welford Pavilion.
Yep.
And
Video comes out this weekend. Yeah,
it does. So I definitely got something to do this weekend other than the SmackDown show that I'm going to on Friday night. So since then, it went from us basically just looking at people to basically a slew of messages coming in to us, because automatically when somebody sees that gold is out there, you got everybody that wants to buy for it. Well, you already know who's going to be in this.
Yeah, I received the video, but I haven't watched it, so no, I don't. I didn't pay any attention to anything. I just loaded up all the crap into the big folder and said,
"So wait a
send it."
minute. So wait a minute. You mean to tell me that you got this video and you yourself haven't even seen it yet?
Nope. I downloaded it.
I admire your commitment to this. I really do.
I'd like to be surprised.
It's going to be a banger. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm ready to see this video. Folks out there, are you ready to see this video? Good enough for me. I heard them. Here we go. Oh, shit.
Black Cat Dion Johnson, a legend in the Carolinas, is out here throwing out open challenges as he's sitting on the couch. So I wasn't too worried about it when I saw it a couple of weeks ago. But then when you won that PWU Carolinas Championship, you piqued my interest to another level, sir. And there's two things that's going to happen if you were man enough to accept my challenge on September the 10th. Two things are going to happen. I'm going to check you and take you back to reality, and I'm going to walk away with that PWU Carolinas Championship by any means. You know the rest, sucker.
Told you it's going to be a banger.
I've actually never got to see him work, so I'm excited for this.
It's going to be a banger, man. Let me tell you, when Dion Johnson said he wanted a challenge, we got a challenge. Zuka King is, in my opinion, one of the baddest men in professional wrestling in the Carolinas. No
I've
joke.
heard,
Dude,
man.
all right, dude, man. All right, check this out. He is the current 3 count heavyweight champion. He has been, um, he has been the AML Rising Star champion. He's been if I remember this correctly, he is the longest reigning action-packed wrestling heavyweight champion. Um, dude's done a lot.
Damn.
And he's went to war with a lot of guys like TJ Boss, John Schuyler, White Mike. He's faced Deion Johnson before. I mean, he's legit. So Deion Johnson versus Zuka King in Union, South Carolina, in Deion's backyard. That's what you call a banger right there.
I'm excited for that. I can't wait, man. I never, when I do get a free weekend, something always goes south and I don't get to travel and go just sit at a show. So I haven't had the chance to check him out, man. But Zuka King's been on my radar for at least the last 8 or 9 months. I've been
You're
wanting
not
to
going
see
to be
him.
disappointed. I promise you, man. He's terrific wrestler.
And I can't wait. Now, I am also excited for this. This is the main event for that show.
Right.
And I downloaded a new picture and it's nice and crisp and clean.
Nice.
Thank God.
For the interim Pro Wrestling Union Heavyweight Championship, the two guys that were going to be squaring off for the #1 contendership that was originally going to be meeting the winner of the Pro Wrestling Union Heavyweight title when we had Chase Emery still physically able to compete, which I don't know if I should even say who his opponent was slated to be or not.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
He was actually slated to wrestle Brock Anderson from AEW.
Right.
And we were getting some stuff worked out with that. And then, of course, everything happened with Chase. So we had to go ahead and just kind of put that to the back burner. So no Brock Anderson for that night. So we had to determine what's going to be the best thing to do. And of course, a lot of us opted to go the route of the interim title. And I know some people think that's very questionable because they think, well, traditionally in professional wrestling, don't people do 30 days? And if they can't defend, it's like, well, yes, in some companies that is a rule. But in most contact sports, such as boxing, UFC, MMA, all that other stuff, they don't strip the lineal champion of the championship because of a physical illness or injury that was sustained outside of the fighting. The only way that they strip the champion is if they refuse to defend the title or no show or something like that. In this case, and this was something that was brought up, and we agreed to this. So as soon as Chase is physically able to come back, he will face the holder of the interim title, which then becomes inactive for an undisputed champion. That's a rule in professional contact sports. So, for anybody that wants to question that. But Drew and Peterbilt, who have had a tear in Pro Wrestling Union, they have both been on a great winning streak. Not just in Pro Wrestling Union, but in other promotions as well, because we do keep up with our with people that we support in regards to the wrestling community, because Pro Wrestling Union has not been about where the show is located at. The union in Pro Wrestling Union is uniting with other promotions and supporting them, whether we do business together or if we just give them support just from the sidelines. That's always been our thing.
Right.
So, with that being said, these guys were the two top guys that we were looking at who could be the #1 contender. But at this point, now that Chase Emery is being listed as a lineal heavyweight champion until he's able to recover, now the two people for the #1 spot is now going to be going after the interim trophy. And I know we've seen this before.
It doesn't matter. It's pretty.
And this is it.
That is the new Pro Wrestling Union heavyweight title. That thing is stunning, man.
Yep. So and you know, we've had a lot of people that really like the old design, the one that's traditionally made like after the old NWA 10 pounds of gold title. That's what it was modeled after. But we wanted to do something a little bit more classy, something a little bit more original, and this was the product that we came up with. I'm excited about it, and I know that both Drew Hood and Peterbilt are really wanting to walk away at the end of the night with this piece of hardware.
Now, interesting thing there. You brought up, Peterbilt's going against Drew Hood. The last time we saw Peterbilt was against Matt Odom.
Right.
Right. Matt Odom, we're going to give a shout out to Matt Odom right now because Matt Odom is at the Gathering of the Juggalos wrestling for JCW right now. That is some cool stuff. And he's not alone from the Carolinas, folks. Guess who else is up there? Rob Killjoy and the Ugly Ducklings are up there as well.
You know, that don't surprise me, man, because Rob's what I'd like to call a workaholic.
You ain't lying.
He really is, man. I don't think Rob Killjoy knows. I don't think he knows what a day off is, because if he's not wrestling at a show on a Thursday night, a Friday night, Saturday, and even on these Sunday nights, he's going in and he's training guys over in Chester, South Carolina with JD Drake, who is another phenomenal wrestler. So, like I said, man, I guess Rob will get a break when he sleeps or when he finally croaks. I don't know.
Hopefully he's got somebody else driving for him and he can take a nap then. He'll get some rest on the ride.
We'll see. But I think it's really awesome that they get that opportunity. A lot of respect for Rob, the Ugly Ducklings. Now, is that also including Lance and Colby, or is it just Lance that's with them? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. You'd have to check the Facebook page out or the post out that they put out. I don't recall who's with him. I think it's a dude with a real long beard. I'm not sure.
Okay, that's Lance Lude. Okay. Yeah. Man, Lance had a hard road, man. He came back from a major illness, and I'm not going to say specifically what it is or anything like that, but he had a long, hard road ahead of him, and now he's being able to get back in the ring. I think that's awesome.
That's good stuff. So here's the overall poster for the Parade of Champions, September the 10th, second annual Raybit Barber Memorial Showcase. Man, I can't wait. It's going to be a badass show. From top to bottom, this card is stacked.
Very excited for the show, and plus the fact that we're doing this once again in honor of our old friend Raybit Barber. And I swear to God, man, you missed out on a tremendous guy. If you would have met Bit, I swear, man, you would have loved him. I tell that to everybody, man. But I mean, in all honesty, you ask anybody that ever knew Bit in the wrestling business, they tell you how great of a person he was. Tremendous.
Gotcha. Now let's see here. We're going to catch up on comments. Then we're going to switch gears and we're going to talk CPW Takeover 4.
Switch the hat around.
There you go. Let's see here. My money's on All Worm, No Soul. Joey Ford, Brady Collins. Let's go, boys, from your number one fan, said Tiffany Childers.
There you go.
Let's see here. James Johnson said, it's me, Cole. It was me all along. Oh, we're not naming names? Ignore me then. I mean, are we naming names? We are naming names.
I think he was referring to something else, but we're not going there.
Oh, yeah, no, we're not going into that. We don't need somebody getting upsetty spaghetti. We don't need that. So we're not dealing with this shit tonight.
I love James Johnson. James, I love you, buddy.
Yep.
I love you, man.
Timothy Godfrey said, oh, hell, this is going to be huge. Yes, it's going to be huge.
I think so.
It's going to be fantastic. It's so difficult having Drew Hood as a kid sometimes.
I can imagine. Yeah. I can imagine the household of James Johnson's a little chaotic. Steven doesn't give him any trouble. Not saying that his wife gives him any trouble. I know they have their little funny moments, but he's also got Selena Rose and Drew Hood around.
Right.
I can't imagine that's good for the household or the insurance that he has to have on the household and all that good stuff.
he has to have promoter's insurance on his house as though it's a venue. That's the way
For
that's
real.
got to shake out. So happy that Drew gets this opportunity, but man, he won't shut up about it. Well, he doesn't shut up about anything though.
Well, Drew's on a hot streak right now, and
Yeah, he
I'm
is.
not, but I don't want to just automatically push him as saying. I mean, he's got a tough challenge in front of him.
Damn straight he
He's
does.
actually got quite a few tough challenges ahead of him from what I saw earlier today, because not only has he got to defend the Carolinas Championship of of Action Packed Wrestling. Let me get the right APW there. Sorry about that. But yeah, he's got John Schuyler coming up next weekend.
Yeah, that's big.
If I can make that show, I'm gonna go, just because I want to see that match. That match alone
Man.
has already got me sold.
Jeez. Far as Chester from here, Siri. Oh
Maybe
no,
like
it's
an hour and a half.
it's
For you.
it's every bit of 90 to 2 hours. Yeah, I already looked it up. Let's see here. Gavin Tyler said Cole.
Little Jimmy.
Little. Here's the little Jimmy. Oh man, so let's switch up and talk about CPW Takeover.
Yes, let us talk
Right,
about
right.
CPW Takeover.
Rising from the ashes. You look at this poster, man. You see the money on the poster. Cam
Right.
Jackson holding the CPW title.
Right.
You got
right.
Drew Hood. You got Lodi, Brino Royce, and Zay Vega, and you've got Black Cat Dion Johnson, man.
Right. And that's only a sample of just who you're going to see that night too. And also with this being a revival for Classic Pro Wrestling, you can see right there at the bottom, this is also jointly being co-sponsored with American Wrestling League and Pro Wrestling Union.
Yep.
So this is a very exciting time because right there at the end of my in-ring career, CPW became my home. And when I was done with the in-ring stuff, Buck Carter, who's one of the owners of CPW, he just could not let me go, which is hence why I am the commissioner.
Right. Now,
And you know, and I love Buck to death, man. Buck has given me he gave me a new lease, like right there at the tail end of my wrestling career, where I was just like, man, I'm done with this. And Buck was the one that basically encouraged me to keep going. And but when I knew that my time was up, he respected my decision. But I had fun with it because I love CPW.
oh yeah, CPW is where I got my start, so it's home to me, and
Right.
I'm down with that. It's home, man. You know, Thomas Scott chimed in to say hello, Cole and Ron. How you doing this evening, Thomas?
How you doing,
One
sir?
of the many people I've been on the phone with today. Let's see here, James Johnson. I met Cole at CPW. It's a very special place for me. Cheers to CPW.
Yep. Him and Patrick Scott had a real great match over there for CPW.
Bringing up names of people who should have had contracts. Good God,
Both of
that
them.
dude's uncanny.
Both of them.
I
For some
agree.
reason, Patrick Scott loves me. I was actually, just to get off topic a little bit, I was actually over at the last Palmetto Championship Wrestling show over here in Lexington where I live. I already told Shane Dorr I was coming out, and I even screwed with Shane Dorr because this whole thing me and him have is that every time I say I'm going to come, something always happens. Twice I had gotten sick, and then one because of just some other things came up and I couldn't come. So when I told him, I was like, dude, I'm going to be there. He's like, yeah, right. You're not going to come. I'm like, nah, man, I got my tickets. He's like, all right, cool. I'm going to see you Saturday. I sent him a little voice clip and I'm like, hey, Shane. So I know I told you that I was going to come and I hate to really do this to you, pal. You're going to kill me, but yeah, I'm just kidding, man. I'll see you there. Yeah.
Nice.
He was in the car with Elliot Popston.
Popston.
And, yes.
Freaking Popston.
Yeah, that's his name now.
Yeah, it is. I heard you christen him that on this podcast, on his podcast.
Yes, and he's using it, man.
Yeah,
He's used it.
I know.
But no, so yeah, the Shane of the Popston are sitting there listening to this, and they're laughing because Ellie is like, yeah, you can see that look on Shane's face. He was gonna be like, man, not again. But no,
Well,
I show up and watch the show, and people hate Patrick Scott, and he doesn't like people either. He comes out there, he's part of the Kingsgate, and I'm sitting there in the front, okay? He's telling everybody where they can go, and he sees me. He doesn't know I'm there, but he sees me, and he goes, Cole McAbee's in the house! And comes over and wants to shake my hand and all that other stuff. And he's like, show respect to Cole. And I'm like, all right, man, I don't need your heat. Okay.
People in the crowd are probably sitting there like, who the hell is that?
It didn't matter. All of a sudden, I started getting some dirty looks from people. Just because of Patrick's approval of me being there. So.
Oh yeah.
But it was fun though. It was really fun.
Now, the other cool thing happening, at this CPW show is they're going to have more live entertainment. They're going to have Cutthroat Susie there.
That's right.
So guys, they're a bit heavy. They got some heaviness to them, but it's pretty good stuff. You can check it out on Apple, Amazon. Here's a couple of their songs. Here's what their albums look like. There's a whole slew of information about them. The name for the group comes from how people in the music industry can be. God, it sounds like the wrestling industry. There needs to be a cutthroat tag team somewhere. And it's based out of Greenville. The band's been together for around 2 years. It's all original. They haven't changed any members. Justine is the female vocalist and guitarist. She's married to Byron, who's also in the band. And they've been playing together for roughly 14 years. Like I say, you can find it on YouTube and Amazon. So, man, they are managed by Creative Music Management. I had to go off screen for that one because I had to read that because there was no way in hell I'm going to remember that.
Yeah, you got your notes, so there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I got all my stuff. I got all my stuff written on cue cards right here behind the camera. You just don't see it.
Yeah. Well, I got the two screens in here, so. And there's no way I'm remembering that. This. But, man, that show is going to be badass. And speaking of badass, let's take a look. We've got a couple of new matches to announce tonight because all this stuff was just sent to me, and I don't know what's been released and what hasn't. We got Johnny Rada versus Buggy Wright. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, this is truly what you call a David versus Goliath situation. Johnny Ryder, who is a big, tough, just a big guy brawler, and you got Buggy, who we talked about earlier, who's this lightning quick junior heavyweight. But I mean, I've seen him take on some big opponents, and Johnny's no slouch. Just because he's a big guy doesn't mean that he can't do impressive things in the ring. So it's gonna be a real interesting thing to watch.
Yeah, it is. You lost an earbud, and it's throwing your microphone off. By the way,
no, I'm sorry. I took it off just because. Yeah, I took it off just because it was just really annoying trying to hear myself through this because it's not like I can hear myself. I can hear you.
Then pop the other one. Pop the other ear out. There you go. Perfect. So now that keeps the microphone up because the microphone's on that side. I gotta mute this channel. Last time Buggy. Well, actually, that's a picture I apparently need. Let's take a look at this.
What's this?
It's going to take me a moment to bring it up. Look at this. Apparently, these two have been in a ring together before. Take a look at this. This is kind of a sight to see.
Right.
Buggy Wright about 10 feet in the air vertically. And Ryda and Braden Marshall underneath of him. Whiskey Business doing the business to Buggy here.
Yeah. Now, here's my question because I have not been present for this. Is this Buggy jumping onto them, or is it Whiskey Business throwing Buggy up in the air? Because I honestly don't know. I wasn't
It
present for
looks
this.
like Buggy leaping towards them from my perspective, but if you're asking me if I remember, I don't, unfortunately. I know it was badass. That was Johnny launched Buggy, according to what I'm reading here.
Okay.
So that's insane. That's some height right there. Good lord. So that's going to be a badass encounter. You know, Whiskey Business is a tag team that I like to watch. I really do. I want to see them versus the White Claw Outlaws in the worst freaking way. I want the battle of the beverages. I don't know why, but I just think it'd be a really good match filled with great promos on the way there.
Right.
So that's kind of why. I'm a sucker for a good promo. So that explains why I like guys like, Drew Hood and the work he does. And, I'll just to name one, very, articulate, eloquent promos. I like stuff like that. But tag
I
team.
used to do that stuff.
Did you? All
Yeah, I
right.
used to do that stuff. I don't get to do it anymore. So
Well, there's always time. You ain't dead yet.
all right, let's go ahead.
All right. So next up, we got Corey Sparks and Jordan Holt versus the Foundation. Now, I've seen the Foundation in action many times. I've never seen Corey Sparks, but Jordan Holt is a star. No doubt about it. He is a star waiting to happen. He just hasn't burst in everybody's living room yet.
Well, just for people that may not be familiar, the Foundation, based out of North Carolina, they are holders of several championships throughout the North Carolina wrestling region. And Jordan Holt, he's still new to the business and everything like that, but I mean, he's come such a long way. He actually had a stellar match over in APW in Chester not that long ago with Drew Hood. Since his name gets brought up a lot tonight. And Corey Sparks, I know you said that you have not seen him before. Corey's actually somebody that will be making his appearance at Pro Wrestling Union soon, but we'll make those announcements later. But he's trained by Jason Kincaid, the Gift, and he's a phenomenal young talent. So this is going to be a really good tag team match when you got these young, hungry guys against two guys like Travis and Dylan who have been in this business for a while, and they definitely know the ins and outs. But also at the same time, just because they're the grizzled veterans, you got two young guys that are very hungry, and these guys are going to really take it to these veterans.
It's got all the makings of a great matchup, and another one I really can't wait to see at Takeover is going to be this. You've got the White Claw Outlaws versus New Age Villains. I'm gonna tell you one thing. That's a grudge match, and you got that shit right, because at 52 Reasons, NAV was going up against All Worm No Soul, and during the match, out comes the White Claw Outlaws. And when I say that they threw Joey, I don't know whether they threw Joey Ford or Brady Collins. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Brady. Wait, which one's
Brady's Ginger Ninja?
That's him. Then it was. I'm fairly confident I'm right when I say it was him. You've been to the Welfare Pavilion, so you know the distance that I'm getting ready to talk about. They threw him so far through the ropes, not over the ropes, through the ropes. He hit the steps of the stage.
Really?
He landed on the metal and hit the damn steps. That was huge. It was ridiculous.
That's good. That'd be a good toss. And and the thing is, I don't know a whole lot about White Claw Outlaws. I just kind of looked at the name and dismissed them, because anybody that sits there and claim White Claw anything, I just look at them and I giggle.
I agree, but those dudes do cut some fire ass promos.
But I look at them and I'm like sitting here and I'm like, your name is the White Claw Outlaws. You guys don't look like you drink White Claw, man. But I mean, you know what? Hey, man, if that's your beverage of choice, that's your beverage of choice. I ain't got nothing to say about it. I'm a Scotch man. You're a Crown Royal man.
They look like they drink some Natural Light and some old Natty Light or
but I do like that. But I do know the history so far between NAV and WCO, White Claw Outlaws.
Right.
It's really hard to say WCO. It's easier to type that than it is to say it. But
Right.
but yeah, with the Outlaws, um, they had their history with one of the promotions that you also cover in these shows, High Velocity Wrestling.
Yeah.
So I believe it all stemmed there.
I
So
believe so too. Because see,
so
after their match, they had the announcement for Heat or the Heart Killers versus NAV,
right,
and it's just like growing.
right.
It's there's just a lot to it.
And we talked about Heart Killers earlier in their tag match with All Worm No Soul, but you know something, just because we're going to bring this up, there is a title versus title match at High Velocity Wrestling later on this month. And you know what?
Right.
That very well can change from Heart Killers to
New Age
the New
Villains.
Age Villains.
Oh
And,
yeah.
and I'm going to be honest with you, I'd be happy either way. I could probably work with Nathan and Ryan a lot better than Chris and Tommy, to be honest. But
Oh,
you know,
anybody could work with Nathan better.
yeah,
Anybody could work better with them guys than they could Valo and Tommy.
right. But no, so you got that tremendous event, and that's just only part of that card for High Velocity Wrestling, and I'm sure that you'll cover stuff on that as it's getting closer and closer.
Oh
But yeah,
yeah.
but just talking about this for September 10th, where you got this grudge match that it's non-affiliated with anything else, just two teams that just really don't like each other, and they're going to be going at it. You know,
It's
chaos.
it's gonna be a banger.
Yeah,
It's gonna be something interesting. And I think I'm excited for the show yet again. I love CPW. The match I'm about to bring up is the one I am the most excited for.
think I know what you're talking about. Yes,
The
it
Fatal
is.
4-Way Tag Team Elimination Match. You've got
Oh yeah.
you've got the Living Legends, the Soul Patrol. You've got the other guys, Keith Mack, who I've never seen work, and Stuart Snodgrass, who I'm a huge fan of. Wonderful promos. I think he's got a phenomenal shtick. I think his work in the ring is really solid. I love watching the guy. You've got the Heart Killers yet again on this show here, and then you've got Tie Dye Sunrise and Selena freaking Rose. Man,
Daddy daughter dance.
Daddy daughter dance. I can't wait. I cannot wait for this match.
Man, I could go at length in regards to this particular match and the teams that are involved in this. We've already talked a little bit about Heart Killers already. So we'll go ahead and just bypass them just for the time being, just to save a little bit of time. We've already talked a little bit about Dion, but as you mentioned, a legendary tag team in the Soul Patrol. They have been everywhere. They have done everything. They have won championship after championship. And these guys are just like perennial fan favorites everywhere they go. They've got such great energy, the charisma, and that connection that they have to the audience is infectious. Just a phenomenal team, and it's a throwback to old school Southern wrestling tag team, and they are tremendous. Now let's go to the two teams there in the front. We're going to go ahead and start with Keith Mack and Stuart Snodgrass, the other guys. I know you said you've never seen Keith Mack wrestle. Dude, I am telling you, man, Keith Mack is awesome. And Stuart Snodgrass has come such a long way. And I think the two of these guys coming together for their team is really, really elevated Stuart's game. And I mean, they're a tremendous tag team. Just I can't wait to see both of these guys in action. And then Daddy daughter dance. James Johnson, who I've already expressed tonight, I already love. And then Selena. I love Selena too. I really do. And I know that some people might be sitting here and like thinking, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys, and then you have Selena Rose thrown into the mix. Dude, let me tell you right now, Selena Rose could probably kick any man's ass that ever steps in the ring with her. She is double tough.
I
As
am
as JR would say, she's tougher than a $2 steak.
I have said it before many times, and I will say it again. The first Palmetto show I ever went to, Selena Rose and James Johnson, and I believe Bluffman were on the team, and they went against All Worm No Soul, and I think it was Raylan Albee, and the Funk was outside, and all this others. I think that's how it went down. Selena Rose took more ass whipping in that one match than anybody else did the entire freaking night. And I'll put my house on that. And she kept giving it back to him. She was like, "Hit me again, bitch." She was giving it to him, boy. I love that woman. I love watching her work.
Yeah, man. And then the thing is that like outside of the ring, and James might have a different reaction to this, but she's always been sweet around me outside of the ring and everything like that. But when she comes through that curtain, gets up onto the ring apron and step through those ropes, it's not the same Selena that you were talking to or had that interaction with. I mean, she's got that killer instinct to her, and like I said, she's double tough. She's amazing in the ring. And of course, James Johnson, this was the guy that was the Carolina's Wrestler of the Year back in 2021 for good reason,
Fantastic wrestler.
Oh, yeah. And James is another one that I think some people, when they look at him, they don't give him enough credit until they actually watch him go and they realized, holy crap, this guy can do just about everything.
That's another. Well, that's a huge problem with this industry. Everybody thinks you got to look like $1 million to be able to wrestle that well, and that's not the case. And we've seen it time and time again, even in the big shows. You've seen it from Umaga. You've seen it from Yokozuna, even though they're both from the Anoa'i family, but still. Right.
But no, man. I mean,
Big Van Vader.
But here's the thing.
You can name big guys.
Here's the thing, though. I brought in James, and this is telling a little bit of backstory. I brought in James after I got rid of a guy that used to be my booker. The same person that used to talk so much crap about guys like James. Talked so much crap. I brought him in because I had seen James work before, and I wanted to work with James. I brought him in. James was familiar with the areas that he had been working with, like with the Palmettos and various places, stuff like that. And he fit right in with the people and he got thrown into the deep end too, because he had to wrestle guys like Chase Emery. He had to wrestle guys like Randy Wayne when we had like the empty arena explosion shows. And that was a beating that James took, and he just kept coming back, hitting Randy Wayne, knocking him harder and harder and harder. And that was probably the hardest fight that Randy Wayne had since at that time being the Pro Wrestling Union champion, before he had that match with Landon Hell, where he did end up losing the title. But then I brought James back with a live crowd in Union for the last Bit Barber show from last year. People in the crowd were not that familiar with James. But the moment that he walked out, he captured their attention. And then the moment that he started doing his thing in the ring, because he wrestled Chris Vallo, he won that crowd over. And, I hate that I hadn't been able to get him back as often as I did. But I also know for a fact that with everything that he had going on, he stayed busy. And then him and Selena, they formed their tag team, and they've been rocking it everywhere that they go to. So. I'm excited to get to work with James again.
I am as well. I get to see one of the last times I saw Selena. At first, I don't think she recognized me at first, and then like she turned around and did a double take, like, "Oh, I know you," and then they were like, "Oh shit, it's Ron." So I was like, "Yeah, I'm here. We get to hang out more." So they're just happy to see you. They're happy to be there. Yeah. They're enjoyable people.
But I could not tell you who is going to come out on top of this thing. The only thing I could tell you, and it's probably cliche to do this at this point, is like the people that are going to come out on top of this is going to be the fans. I honestly think this is going to be my favorite match of the night.
I do as well. And, we got another match here that I think has a hell of a lot of potential. Guys, I see your comments, by the way. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't see them directly. I know that there's 8 pending comments. I will get to all those when we get done going through the matches, because this way we're going to get done with this, because I've still got my whole laundry list to cover after this show. So, next up, we've got the Rolls Royce of professional wrestling, Brino Royce versus the top dog of the industry, Bebop. That
Oh yeah.
is going to be stellar.
Oh yeah. And the thing is we mentioned this before with Bebop having a match with Luka Daniels, who is now part of King Enterprises, and him not coming out on top on that one, having to basically lose the Carolinas championship for Pro Wrestling Union. But now you got somebody like Brino, and I got a lot of respect for Brino because of the way that he works in a lot of ways. And I don't say this very lightly. There's a lot of things about him that reminds him of me in the way that I like to work in the ring. He's very methodical. He's very calculating in the way that he does things. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup, especially with Bebop's dynamic and the way that he works in the ring. We're going to see if Brino is going to be able to kind of slow him down and make Bebop work his pace.
Yeah, Brino does wrestle at a much slower pace, and I agree with you on the methodical side. It's going to be technician versus, speed. It's going to be speed
Yeah.
versus tech, and it's going to be a match. There's no doubt about that. It's going to be a great matchup.
Oh yeah.
And see, you see Brino here with the cigars. That reminds me, I've got to pick up my order, before that show. So we'll have some stogies in the back.
Okay. And that was the last graphic that you had, right?
Nope, I got one more.
Okay, go ahead.
The last one I have is actually Lodi versus Drew Hood.
That's right. That is right. If you don't know who Lodi is, you've been living under a rock. That is all I
Right.
gotta say. I've got so much respect for Lodi. Not just for his involvement in WCW being part of the Ravens flock. Lodi, I've been a constant supporter of his for his wrestling camp over in Matthews, North Carolina, Team Fearless. He has produced some of the finest wrestlers here in the Carolinas, and even if he was not the direct trainer of a lot of these wrestlers that have come in, he has provided services to help enhance the education of these wrestlers. I have been to his facility firsthand, and the way that he treats his students, the way he works with his students, he is probably one of the best teachers of wrestling. No joke. But you had
Right.
guys like Chase Emery, Peterbilt, Mitch Robinson, who is the Heritage Wrestling Association, Heritage Wrestling Alliance heavyweight champion over in
Right.
North Carolina. Keith Mack has been a frequent visitor of Lodi's school.
Gavin Tyler's there now.
Gavin Tyler has been going there. Stuart Snodgrass has been going there, and just to bone up on some things and everything like that. I mentioned Brock Anderson earlier as the person that was slated to face Chase Emery before his health issues. I was actually there the one of the nights that Brock Anderson and his father Arn were there, and Brock was in the ring working with some of the guys. Lodi is teaching them everything, and Arn is just sitting there and he's just watching. And he's there for his son, but he's there watching everybody. And he's able to show out advice to people. When Lodi just looks over to him and says, "Hey, Arn, you got something to say?" And Arn's a fountain of knowledge too. He may not be able to get in there and work with the guys like Lodi can, but just listening to him talk to these guys, share some information, it was really awesome. So, you got Lodi and Drew Hood. And I think that's just going to be a stellar matchup. Another tough haul for Drew in this venture that he's in.
Oh, most definitely.
Now, there is one other match that has not been announced yet, and I do apologize. I mentioned earlier. I mentioned earlier that Cam Jackson's not exactly the easiest person to work with, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason for that. He is the CPW heavyweight champion, and I don't have any information for you at this time in regards to who he is going to be wrestling for this show. We have thrown a couple of opponents at him, and this isn't like me with Pro Wrestling Union where I got a lot more pull in. I'm a commissioner. I enforce certain things, but I don't necessarily check off on matches until it's an overall board decision, right?
Right.
So we have thrown names at him, and every single one of them, he's just been refusing. So, and we're getting down to the wire now because, we still got a little over a month away. And right now, the heavyweight champion for a promotion on its first show in over a year, and we're having the opportunity to present this to the fans. And right now, he's just not giving us anything.
Well, I mean, so years and years ago, let's go back to when CPW was last running live shows.
Right.
I'm going to bring up history, but I don't know how well history is going to be remembered by anybody else other than me. There was a triple threat match which had the number one contendership on the line.
Mm-hmm.
That match took place. It was between Ryan Mantis, Jake Jacobs, and Jax Insane.
I remember.
Yep, and Jax won.
Right.
So I do know that that's out there. But as far as anything else, I have no clue.
And I'm going to be honest with you. Jax Insane was one of the names that got thrown in.
He refused to fight the number one contender.
Well, you have to think at this point, with this being a revival, basically he's still the heavyweight champion by proxy. He was the last heavyweight champion. So with the direction that it's going in, and like I said, I have no say over this portion of it. You've got owners that make these calls. Okay,
right.
You got Buck Carter, you got Jimmy Ward. They're the guys that make the ultimate call on things. Basically, what I can do is piece things together, and if it works, they allow me to go forth with it. That's my role as the commissioner. I work for them on this one. If it was Pro Wrestling Union, they work with, that I don't want to say they work for me because nobody really works for me. Everybody works with me. But I'm working under two guys, and they're trusting me a lot with all of this stuff because they know the experience that I have, and they believe that I can get this job done. Otherwise, they would have got rid of me a long, 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 long time ago.
Right.
So, but I've had Jimmy to actually ask me about it earlier today, and I just told him, I said, we're still working on it. And he, and Jimmy, Jimmy,
Yeah, I've been on the phone with him the last 2 days. I've been on the phone with, I think, every promoter on all these companies and then some in the last 2 or 3 days.
But yeah, Jimmy's like, we got to get it set, man. We got to get it set. And I'm like, Jimmy, it's okay. I got it. And he's like, yeah, man, I trust you. I trust you. We just got to get it, man. We just got to get it. Because he knows, because it's not that he's overexcited just because of the one match. He wants to make sure that this show is perfect. Buck Carter wants to make sure that this show is perfect. And it is also my job to make sure that this show can help them be perfect. So that's my role here.
Right. Now let's go ahead and catch up on comments. Then we're going to run the gauntlet, as I like to call it, at the end of the shows here.
Take a deep breath.
Let's see. Thomas Scott said, I'm proud to know Buck Carter, known him for years, love him to death. Thomas Scott also said, I could name a few people out there that's cutthroat, but I will remain professional.
Right.
He said, you will see them Sunday. I believe he's talking about Daddy-Daughter Dance. I think Daddy-Daughter Dance is going to be there Sunday. I'll get to Sunday in just a minute. I've got the poster already. I've already got the guns loaded, okay? Oh, can I say guns on the show? I don't know if I can say guns on the show. Who gives a shit?
You'll get a notification later.
Probably. Me and Cole going to tag up. Oh, Jesus. That'd be funny.
Oh dear Lord, man!
Cruel and Dizzy. Cruel and Dizzy Cruel.
No. He's no longer Dizzy. Thomas Grimm. So it would
Thomas
be
Grimm.
yeah, Cruel and
Cruel
Grimm.
Grim. There we go.
Cruel and Grimm. That man. If I could tap into the Cruel guy, which I don't really tap into him anymore. I still have asshole Cole McAbee that comes out every now and then. Michael King felt that in the promo contest, but um, but it was all in good fun. I was trying to win a backpack for my buddy Luke Childers, and
There you go.
but he said they had 9 qualifying people. I counted it. They had like 20 promos. 20. Actually,
Oh,
they probably had
really?
more. They had more, but he said only 9 of them counted.
9 qualifying promos. Sounds about legit. I mean, qualifying is a very loose term.
Hey man, I already told him, man, because when I found out that AJ Frost, the Freak Daddy, was the winner of their own contest, I said, hey man, you guys lost the Carolinas championship, but you won a book bag, man. You guys are going places. Bravo.
Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Gavin Tyler said, my brother, the foundation. He also said the ring steps. No, dude, he went over he went all the way to the metal grates. That was where I seen him land out by the metal grates. I didn't see him hit, but I seen him laying at the metal grates at the very bottom of the steps off the stage. I could be wrong. I may be. It was a long day.
We can watch the video this weekend, right?
Hell yeah. There we go. We'll watch it this weekend and find out. Don't worry, it'll be shared on all my socials. We'll get to check it out. American Wrestling League.
Dude, guy.
So it's got to be loaded for me. That's why I'm half hyped up now.
Thomas is great. Thomas dude. He's great.
I love working with Thomas. Great guy to work with. I never thought that promo pick would ever get any use. That is a great promo pick.
Oh yeah, the
middle.
That's because Jimmy Lord loves seeing promo pits like that.
Exactly. He said it, loved it. As soon as I seen it, I had to have it.
Yeah. I mean, because that's appeals to Jimmy Ward's attitude, man. And I mean, that's just him, man. That's him.
Yeah, if there was ever anybody that was like that standing here, he's a walking middle finger. There's no joke about it.
Right.
Let's see. James Johnson said, let's talk business soon, Cole. I believe I owe you a booking when I had to pull out of the Carolinas title tournament. I miss Pro Wrestling Union, and I miss you.
We can make this happen.
Oh, definitely.
You know this.
Gavin Tyler said, Lodi is a great teacher. He's taught me a lot.
Yes, he is a tremendous teacher. I've already said that.
Yep. Chase Emery, Braden Marshall, Chris Phoenix, we're all trading at Lodi's school. There we go.
Right. And and I don't want to take anything away from Braden or Chris because they're both phenomenal guys. And here's the thing about Braden, though. I knew that he wrestled. I never saw a whole lot of his matches, but he came and did commentary for me on one of the occasions. And dude's a tremendous, just be able to call action and everything like that. And I was like, man, he's got such a great voice for this. I was like, if the wrestling thing don't work out, that I was like, he's got something there, and he can really make the most boring of matches seem absolutely interesting in the way that he's able to describe things. He's got a talent of piecing the stuff together. But then I actually got to saw some of his matches later, and I was like, okay, so he's a double duty guy. So
yeah, we were calling the first couple matches of a Pro Wrestling Savage show, and unfortunately the footage did not save. We'll call it a technical difficulty on that occasion. But it's okay because stuff was going haywire anyway, and we ended up just doing a match or two, and then we stopped doing commentary. And he was like, "I got it, bro. I'll take care of it after the fact." So, because they all work with XWW,
right,
and they're on that. They're all part of that with Manny Mac, and they're on the Roku TV deal, and there's a huge deal for that. There's a lot to do about that too. Me and Mr. Mac have a conversation coming up soon. No spoilers. but me and Mr. Mac have a conversation coming up soon. Let's see here. Jimmy Ward said every single CPW match is fire. Yes, it is. So is
Yes.
every Pro Wrestling Union match. Every match we've announced tonight looks good, and so are the events we'll be getting to in 2 more comments.
I was gonna say September is going to be fire.
September is going to burn the ass off of indie wrestling. That's how it's going to go.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah, asshole. Michael King said asshole. Gentle euphemism, I think. And then Jimmy Ward chimed in to say, just like Beetlejuice, you said his name, and there he is.
Oh, dear God. Well, if you say his name 3 more times, he goes away.
I thought you had to marry him or some shit. I don't remember the movie.
I am not marrying Michael King. Have you seen what my wife looks like?
Yes.
You think I'm gonna?
No. I'm saying in general. That was the movie. We're talking about the movie Beetlejuice, wasn't it?
Look, who's gonna marry Michael King? He don't like tacos, man. You can't marry
that's a character flaw. But I mean that could be a flaw in another area too. That could be a total flaw in another area. Oh, Jimmy Ward's tempting fate here.
Oh dear. Ha! Gotcha, Jimmy. Now he's on your ass now.
Yeah, he's off of he's off of ours and on to yours. Oh man. But so, guys, we've reached a portion of the show where we're gonna cover all the cool shit coming up. Now we're not gonna show every individual picture like we did earlier, but we're just gonna hit the overall cliff notes of what we got going on. Starting actually earlier today in Charlotte, North Carolina, was Team Mark Presents The Gathering, and it is at the Hilton University Place in Charlotte, North Carolina. Check this event out. Look at all the legends on this poster, man.
Look at that, man. I mean, you got, Bret Hart, Rock and Roll Express, just looking at some of these, Roddy Garvin. Dear Lord, you got Theodore Long up top up there. I mean, there's just so many people that are on there. Mark Marrow, Ted DiBiase.
Sandman.
The Demolition.
Oh, man, yeah.
I mean, and I think I even saw picture earlier where there was Tito Santana was might be there, and do I see Stan Hansen up there, man? I would love to meet Stan Hansen. Love Stan Hansen. Right there with the cowboy hat.
I believe that's who that is. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going Saturday. I've got a thing to do Saturday, so I'll be there Saturday.
Right.
I'm pretty sure, depending upon the age of my audience, I mean, some of them probably are a little bit younger here, but the reason for their puberty is probably featured on this poster as well. You've got Tori Wilson, you've got the cat, you've got a ton of them on here, man.
I'm just nodding my head and just smiling.
Yep. But then you got this weird guy with these painted on eyebrows over here too. I don't know what's up with him. Vampiro's gonna be there. That's cool. I'm down with Vampiro.
Wait a minute, painted on eyebrows. Who are you looking at?
I know who it is. It's that what the hell, Sullivan. That guy was
Kevin Sullivan. Okay, yeah.
I was never a fan, so I'm like, this is weird.
Hey man, I see that they got PCO up there, man.
Yeah, I see PCO up top. Tugboat's up there.
You mean Shockmaster?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Whatever incarnation. Earthquake? No, he wasn't Earthquake. He was Typhoon.
No. Sadly, Earthquake, he has passed on.
Earthquake has passed, so it was Typhoon.
Yeah, he was Typhoon or Tugboat, Typhoon. Shockmaster. Yeah,
man, there's another guy up there that's up top next to Tito, between Tito and Teddy. That's shit.
It's hard to tell because it's so small on my screen, but it looks like One Man Gang.
No, that's not One Man Gang, brother. That's the guy who used to be the manager. He was the manager he was just a manager in NXT a couple years ago.
Paul Ellering.
Yes, that's Paul Ellering. That's who that is.
Okay.
Man,
I think I see Too Cold Scorpio too.
Yep, it looks like Bushwhacker standing next to him.
Right.
There's
Like I
a
said,
ton of people here.
it's so small on my screen, it's hard to make them out. But still,
The
though, I mean,
Mounties there. Haku looks like that ain't Terry Funk, but it's got the Terry Funk headband. I don't know who that
no,
is.
no, that's not Uncle Terry.
Looks like Jeff Jarrett's there.
Yeah, we're sitting here just naming all these people, but look, August
That's
4th to the
insane.
7th over there at the Hilton University place. One of the biggest wrestling conventions here in the Southeast, right there in Charlotte, North Carolina. Not a far drive at all. No matter where you're coming from, you can hit I-77, collect, get up through there, get to Charlotte. Or if you live in like one of the areas like Union, you can bypass the interstate, get your way through McConnell's, the Rock Hills, straight up to Mecklenburg County. Yeah,
Yeah.
not too terrible far drive, no matter where you're coming from here in the South Carolina area.
Yep. Or in my case, you hop on the never-ending construction zone that is called I-85. What a shithole I-85 is. I hate 85.
Can I say fuck on there?
Yeah.
Okay, fuck I-85.
Oh, I agree.
I hate I-85.
And twice on Sundays. I
That's
can't
too
stand
much.
I-85.
Too much.
The cool thing about that is you saw Ricky and Carrie,
Mhm.
or you saw Ricky and Robert, and I know Carrie's going to be there as well. The Mortons will be there. They are actually going to be joining us on Sunday at Pro Wrestling Savage. Take a look at this.
Yeah, look at that. You got Cam Jackson, you got Drew Hood, you got the new formation of the Rock and Roll Express with Ricky and his son Kerry. Sweet Dreams, you got Woo Paul up there, and is that
Zay
Vega
Vega. Yes, it is.
So there you go. This looks like another good show. You ought to go check it out, ladies and gentlemen. And that's also in Charlotte, right?
Yep, that is Charlotte, 3 p.m. The gathering ends at 2. That show starts at 3. You got plenty of time to do both.
Yeah, I mean, there is nothing wrong with like going to multiple shows as long as they line up the way that it works out, and I think that's a good way of going. Get to see some awesome stuff for the weekend. Charlotte's going to be a lot of fun this weekend.
Oh yeah, that's exactly where I'm going to be this weekend. My arrangements have already been made. Bags are packed. Let's see here. We got Inferno coming up August 27th. That's High Velocity Wrestling at the Municipal Event Center, 29 Logan Street, Marion, North Carolina. The poster, I have the old poster still. I need a new one. So I don't think they've unleashed a new one yet, but I got to get one.
And so, I know we've already talked about the tag team match and everything like that, so we don't need to even go into that. I'm looking at that main event right there. You got TJ Boss against Bojack. Dude, I finally got to see Bojack up close and personal not that long ago. And I had to tell him, I waited to tell him, I'm like, dude, you are phenomenal. Keep doing what you're doing.
Right. You got Killjoy and Jordan Holt. That's going to be an awesome match. You got Brino, Royce, and Kay Holiday. That's going to be another great match.
That'll be
Matthews
good.
And Zay Vega is going to be good. And I can't remember what the ladies match is yet. I just don't remember. But guess what? That I don't need to. You, ladies and gentlemen, you can go check it out on High Velocity Wrestling's Facebook page. And check it out for yourself. It's gonna be a kick-ass card there. I can't wait for that show.
Last Saturday of the month of August, Marion, North Carolina.
Yep.
Hop on 26.
That's right. Then we got Parade of Champions coming to us. I'm excited for this. Can't wait for that. That's September the 10th.
That's right.
We have
in South Carolina.
Then we have the Spot Show, but there's another show that there's going to be a Pro Wrestling Savage show in Concord at Speedway Harley Davidson or Speed something Harley Davidson. There's a memorial show up there for a young man who was killed on a motorcycle, is what I understand. And we're doing a memorial show up there. And I was like, sign me up. And then I looked at my calendar and I'm like, hey man, what time does this start? Because I got to be in Union at 5. So I'm double booked that day. I'm rolling from 1 straight to Union. I'll change my shirt on 85.
What time does Pro Wrestling Savage start?
I think that show's either starting at 1 or 2 on that day.
Okay, we're gonna be later on that day. You'll be fine, I think. Yeah.
Very good. All right. Then we've got the CPW Takeover show on September 24th at the Welford Pavilion. Keep your eyes posted on Facebook because you will eventually see the posters and ticket information because Jimmy Ward started hunting ticket websites today. I believe that was today.
And just a quick reminder for people, the Welford Pavilion, it is limited space. So when those tickets come available, you might want to hop on those.
Yeah, it's going to be a badass show. Then coming up shortly after that, I believe it is October the 1st, the Holly Yatsko Memorial Cup. And that's presented to you. I believe that's mainly run under the HWA banner. Yet again, a lot of very familiar faces on that poster up there. See Braden, Drew, Chris Phoenix, Jake Jacobs. I've already made my prediction for this. I've already predicted the entire thing out, and everybody knows my winner's choice for this event is Drew Hood. So I believe it's going to be Drew Hood versus Braden Marshall in the finals, and Drew Hood is going to beat Braden to win the Holly Cup.
You know, I'm seeing somebody else that's on that poster too. I'm seeing Big Country.
I saw Big Country.
I don't know, man. I've known Big Country for a long time. In fact, I was the first person that actually was in the ring with him when he was wanting to learn this thing professionally. You know, Chester, South Carolina, over there at Doug Hawkins' building. He wanted to know what it was like to be a professional wrestler, and then Doug's like, "Get in the ring with this guy," and I'm like looking at him, and I'm looking at Doug, and I'm like, "What the fuck am I gonna do with this guy?"
Right?
You know, but
well,
I showed him how to protect himself on a bump. Made the ring shake. It's so bad that it actually knocked me out of the ring. But no, man, but I was the first person to show him those things. And then when he wanted to get more proper training, he got more proper training with guys like Sweet Dreams and stuff like that. In fact, Sweet Dreams is who he credits for being his trainer.
That's awesome.
And
See, I know the opening match for this, or opening round matchup, is Drew Hood and Jake Jacobs. That's going to be a barn burner.
you're still going with Drew.
And I'm still going with Drew.
I'm not discounting Drew on anything. I'm just saying because I know Jake Jacobs too.
All right,
a toss-up.
It is a fresh Drew Hood and a fresh Jake Jacobs. Both of them have been working their asses off on their body and their craft and their work. And I still pick Drew Hood to go over Jake. I believe you got Cocker, whatever the fuck that dude with the long hair's name is, that guy. I think it's him and Tyler Storm, and I'm pulling for Tyler Storm on that one. Okay. So then that lines up.
I think the person you're referring to is Caleb Crocker, right?
Oh, Crocker. Is it Crocker? I thought it was Cocker. Or is that's a different family in the wrestling business? Yeah, it is. There is some people with the last name Cocker. I don't know who it is.
I mean, I believe you. I was just saying you called him Pecker first, and I was like,
well, I couldn't remember his fucking name.
I was like, what is like? Did he do something to you? I mean,
no, I just couldn't remember the guy's name. Thanks. I do. You know, I have a bad memory. So shit.
So we're just gonna call people the first thing we like. Hey, look, it's
that's who I couldn't remember his name.
It's like, hey, look, it's Needle Dick, the butt fucker.
Yeah, there we go. And then I'm trying to remember how it was laid out for the other half, but I know I had Braden going through his first two matches as well. I just couldn't remember. I laid out the whole thing. I think Gene Reffin Perry wrote it down. So I mean, Mean Gene Perry. I can't wait for him to he'll remember because he wrote down my bracket. I said, man, You just got to help me out. So.
All right, and that is on October the 1st, and that's going to be at the Gilkey School Community Center, and
yes, it is,
Rutherford, North Carolina.
Yep. That's going to be a good show, and it's to honor Gene Perry's daughter, Holly Yatsko. I can't
Yeah.
wait for that show. That is the latest poster
I saw
that I have.
I saw the new trophy they've got the trophy, but apparently the winner is also going to get a commemorative championship belt. So that is I thought I
Yes,
saw a poster of that.
you did. I do not have the belt. I don't have that on me anymore. I have
But
the trophy here. Um,
right,
yeah, that was for the announcement. I used that on the announcement, but
but
then I know there's something coming. Something dark and wicked this way comes in October. Are you ready to talk about October? Are you ready to say anything? Are you ready for a picture?
I can talk about it. That is not a problem.
All right. Well,
Just
let's.
I can at least just mention something.
Oh yeah, I can get you the picture. We can talk about it.
Okay.
Here. See, I wasn't ready to go too deep into October yet, but here we go. Now this is off your page, so there's nothing on here that there's no pictures of champions. There's just pictures of badassery. That is what is on this picture. That is what is on this poster. Badassery.
The teaser.
Oh yeah, this is the absolute teaser because I'm gonna tell you one thing. This poster makes me very excited. Take a look at this.
October the 29th, the Freaks come out at night for Pro Wrestling Union presents Monsters Brawl. And you can see right there at the top of that jack-o'-lantern there are three people that I've decided to put on there. One of them being the top dog of the industry, Bebop. We're also going to have the return of female superstar Brittany Jade, and right there, dead in the center, because I couldn't think of anybody better to want to bring in for a show called Monsters Brawl than somebody that was one half of the Monster Squad, and that is the real Cutshaw.
I can only think of one other person that I would like to see on a show called The Monsters Brawl. There's really only one other person. Well, there's a couple of people. There's a couple of people. But there's
Right.
one person specifically that comes to mind. And you had a show earlier this year. I believe it was in May. Does that name ring a bell? Mayhem?
Me.
Mayhem.
Are you talking about my boy Mad Dog?
Oh man, I think it'd be badass if Mad Dog Mayhem was at the Monsters Brawl.
I would love to have Mad Dog Mayhem make an appearance at a Pro Wrestling Union show sometime soon. I really would.
I also wonder, but would Pro Wrestling Union's brass allow Mad Dog Mayhem or just an appearance of the Mad Dog himself?
Well, there would have to be some insurance, that's for sure. Which we already have insurance that we put on the building and stuff like that. That I make sure that gets taken care of. I might have to double it up. I might have to like do like one of those hoodoo deals where you get somebody to like sign a contract, but they don't actually read what's on the contract. You get that sheet of paper over, it just says sign right here. And then
Yeah.
when they go, oh, well, wait a minute, what did I just sign? And when they flip it over and at the very top they see Magdod Mayhem. And when they try to fight it, they're like, nope, 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 you already signed the contract. It's already done. It's legally
Oh man,
binding.
that
And
would be good shit.
but I need to also have Dave Foster to come out to blow the dog whistle. I gotta
Oh
have it.
yeah,
I gotta have it.
you know
That it's gotta be a package.
I love it. It's got to be real. It's got to be real. It's got to be authentic. I'm down.
We gotta make it a reality, and and speaking of reality, somebody, don't know who yet, but on October 29th, somebody's going to be part of his reality, and that is the real Cutshaw.
I could tell you, well, which reality of it though? Because there's four of them.
I don't know, man. He's got so many personalities. He's got Cooter the Shooter,
Yep.
Vinny Vegas. Vinny's probably my favorite, you know.
Yes.
Um, then there's just Josh Cutshaw, just plain old Josh Cutshaw. Um, and then there's the demented monster that we all know,
Yeah.
the indestructible, just chaotic guy. There's probably more personalities in there for all we know. We just know don't hit him in the head because you never know what's going to come out.
It's one of the best things going on, man. I can't wait. So check this out. We're gonna catch up on comments. I think we're gonna send this one home.
Right.
Michael King said you can see Brino Royce at Pro Wrestling Savage. Yes, I'm excited for that.
We already covered that, Michael.
Yep.
Oops, I said his name once. I don't need to say it again.
Yep. Big Jimmy will be at Pro Wrestling Savage Sunday. Thomas Scott calling me back. I guess that means Little Jimmy will be at Pro Wrestling Savage on Sunday as well. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Corey. Yes, it is. I don't know, but yes, it is. I've been up to HWA quite a few times. I only went once. I went for the Bunkhouse Brawl. Chase Emery won their title. And then I think it was the guy with the hockey stick won. Who the hell's that guy?
Oh,
Richards. Dean Richards.
Yeah,
I
you're
think,
talking
right?
about Dean Richards. Yeah.
Yeah, that dude. I think he won, or he got second place. So he has like the ability to cash the Bunkhouse trophy in or something for a title match. I think is the way it goes. I can't, you know me, concussion brain. I can't remember this stuff. I have to write it down or I'm not going to remember. What's my name again?
I'm not gonna say it. I was gonna be like Needle Dick.
No, I was actually playing off the Blink 182 song. But it's okay. Yeah, there's a throwback for you. Big Country hit me with his choke bomb once, and I bumped 3 times. Good
I can believe
Lord.
it.
Oh, Corey Fortberry saying Tyler Storm is going to take it home. Caleb Crocker. Okay, see, I didn't know. I don't know his name.
Tyler taking it all the way. That's a bold choice, but I mean, stranger things have happened.
Corey, man, that's a big statement too. You know why, though. You know why. I know why. I know why he picks Tyler Storm.
I mean, I know why, and I got nothing against Tyler. I think Tyler's he's a very solid superstar. So
yeah, he's a fantastic wrestler. He's a hell of a worker. I give the guy plenty of credit. He's got a good look. He's got a great moveset. He's active as shit. It's good stuff. Scott Larson, Big Country is my pick. Well, that's
me and Scott's on the same page on this one.
Oh man. Okay. We know, we may have to plan an October trip. We may have to plan an October trip.
We may.
Let's see here. Cuddy and PWU. Yes, sir, Mr. James Johnson. That is what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what's happening. Scott Larson chimed in to say, what about Jack's Insane? There's another monster in the Monsters Brawl. That's probably where Cole thought I was going when I brought that up.
I'm going to be honest with you. I thought it was.
Yeah, I know. No, well, he's another monster in the ring. I just,
True.
It's
well,
one of those things.
Well, see, this is one of the things, because I do get questions like this, with some people. They're like, well, how come you don't bring in so and so? How come you don't bring in so and so? This person, da 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 da. And and these are all valid questions and stuff like that. And a lot of people think it's just because there's like heat or there's like some issues or I don't like them, and it's like, no, that's not the case. But the one thing that I tell people, and this is something I told Jackson Same once, is like, if I don't book you on a show, is it hurting you? Really? Think about it.
Right.
If you're somebody who gets bookings all the time, is it hurting you? No, not at all.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, if you're one of these people that you have to sit and beg people to give you an opportunity and stuff like that, and the door's being shut in the face, yeah, I can see where that's very hurtful and where that's very and
detrimental.
did more. Yeah, and you know what? I've been in that position before. When I first got into this business, I had a lot of people that didn't give me an opportunity, and then just somewhere down the line, I worked a couple of shows. Somebody paid attention to what I was doing, and then they said, "Hey, give this kid a chance." And that's typically how it works. But in a position like where Jax Jax can pretty much write his own ticket for the wrestling shows around here. He's constantly used at 3 Count. He's used all over the place in North Carolina. He gets used over there at WrestleForce. He stayed busy. He's at his pro wrestling.
Right.
You
He's
know.
at APW Chester.
Yes.
He's at his. He's at 3 Count. He's in North Carolina. He's everywhere.
So
He makes appearances at all these shows. I mean, the guy is everywhere.
right. So
And
so I mean, there's way plenty of opportunities to see Jackson saying he doesn't have to be at a Pro Wrestling Union show.
now I am going to break Cole's rule because Cole's about to get kind of pissed when I say this, but I'm breaking kayfabe for a moment.
Go ahead.
You're going to see the scowl come across his face. I do want to send my best thoughts to Jax, who was actually in an automobile accident on his way to his Pro Wrestling Friday night.
I did not know that.
I know. It wasn't very widespread information. There was a couple of us who knew, and we didn't tell nobody. And then we waited till after the show to even talk to Jax because we were running around. You know, when you're at the show, man, you're running around with like a chicken with your head cut off. So it was like we just had so much to cover. And now that we're here, and I wanted to make sure I did get the opportunity to tell Jax. I've already talked to him. He said he's doing fine, but still,
Good.
our thoughts are with you on that, man. Because that's just some bad shit.
Good.
That's some
very
stuff
good.
you don't want to happen.
Right.
Now, to add another comment in, Michael King said, "I have a way of getting people to sign contracts. I can help for a favor."
I'm sure he can.
He's got a lot of people to sign a lot of contracts.
But it depends on his favor, though. How badly do I need that?
This is also true. Now, the next two comments go together, and it makes it really funny. Because Brino Roy says, "There's no way y'all are still live." James Johnson chimes in to say, "You new here, my guy?"
Oh, man. Once again, James Johnson, I love you, Bubba.
Oh, my God. This is a work night. I'm not going to be up too long on a work night, but I mean, on Sunday, it's like, holy shit, I can go until the cows come home. It doesn't matter because I start at 4.
Well,
I start early as hell.
Well, for me, the cow's coming home right now. I'm getting ready to call it. So.
Oh, man. And Jimmy Ward said, "I agree with Brino." Well, Jimmy Ward, we had a lot to cover. I had to cover Pro Wrestling Union and CPW.
They stuck around. Did they
exactly.
Did they flip the channel? No.
Exactly. No.
Y'all stuck
the viewer
around
count's been up
because
all
you
night.
Wanted it. You wanted this. Okay?
And it's just a live show. This is just one of the live specials. This isn't the podcast. This is just a live special. The podcast is coming at you this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, both days. I don't know when, but it's going to happen. So we're going to talk some stuff with some people, and we'll figure out what we're going to do when we do it. But I know it's going to be a road show because I will not be in this chair. Jimmy Ward says, "Go to bed. I know I am." Man, you can tell Gavin to go to bed. He's got work to do in the morning. He's got to go sweep the grass out there in the parking lot. Make sure I don't get any nails in my tires.
I'm trying to go to bed. I really am.
Well, I'm not going to keep you on here any longer, man. I appreciate all the information, Cole. I really do. As always, a great time talking to you. Guys, you've had a ton of great wrestling laid out in front of you. You know what's coming at certain shows, and if you're not smart enough to buy a ticket, I feel bad for you.
Yeah, we covered the basis of 2 shows just because I'm involved with both of them. But on top of this, you mentioned Pro Wrestling Savage. You mentioned High Velocity Wrestling. You mentioned The Gathering. Okay. I mean, this is just some of the stuff that got mentioned. I'm not trying to discard any other shows that have been mentioned tonight. But I mean, just between now and going into the fall, there's a lot of good stuff that's coming up, especially here in the Carolinas. So I encourage everybody to check out these shows, get you a ticket, check them out, support what these guys are doing, and as long as fans are still coming, we're still going to put them on. I mean,
Oh,
that's the truest statement I can give to you guys tonight.
100%. And his pro wrestling is taking the month of August off. They will be back in September as well. They're coming back at the end of September.
Okay. So, like I said, a lot going on, guys.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be huge.
Find a place, watch a show, enjoy yourself.
Yep.
All right, Ron.
All right.
Let me go ahead and hop off.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a good evening. Folks, it's been a killer show. Thank you all for sticking with me. I know it's a work night. We've been just over the 2-hour mark. I want to thank everybody who commented: Scott Larson, James Johnson, Michael King, Jimmy Ward, Corey Fortenberry. Let's see here. Thomas Scott was on there. Gavin Tyler was in here. Man, we had a ton of people. Tiffany Childers was in here. David was in here. David Estacado was in here. Casey Leanne was here bright and early. Man, we had a ton of guests today pop in and chat. This is the stuff I love, man. I love having everybody chime in and chat because that's what it's all about. It's all about community. It's about the wrestling community. It's about building that wrestling community. And I believe that the companies we have listed here and many more that are out there, you know, that's a strong foundation for the future of professional wrestling. So, folks, it's been real. It's been fun. Hell, man, it's been real fun. Thus proclaimed the same.